A lioness fiercely guards her buffalo kill as a bold vulture swoops in, hopping to steal a bite. With a sudden charge, she sends it scrambling. The moment captures raw power, quick reflexes, and the constant battle for survival in the wild.
Wild dogs pushed forward, while a lone hyena protested loudly, its wailing calls echoing across the Sabi sand. The standoff shifted back and forth, full of tension, noise, and untamed energy. After an intense hunt, this powerful male lion finally earned his prize, a fallen giraffe. But after one heavy bite, he chose rest over hunger, guarding his hard-won meal under the warm African Sunday. The afternoon opened with a gentle warmth as the Toulon pack of wild dogs stirred up lively energy around their den. The pups tumbled over one another in a blur of light feet and soft, excited yips, completely absorbed in their own playful world. Watching them felt like stepping into a small pocket of joy, the kind that reminds you how alive the bush can be when family bonds take center stage. Later in the morning, the Shenkova female leopard stole the spotlight with her effortless grace. Perched high in a marula tree, she held herself with a calm confidence, surveying the landscape as if she owned every branch and breeze. Few leopards embrace the treetops the way she does, and seeing her posed against the open sky was a moment that lingered long after. But the most touching scene came from a quieter memory, a first-time mother leopard tending to her two tiny cubs. Her movements were slow, careful, almost reverent. That unusual call in the background was being made by a cheetah, even though it sounded almost like a bird. Early this morning at Malamala, a mother cheetah and her 4 sub-adults were being seen moving quietly through the grass, and their soft contact calls were being exchanged to keep everyone close as they shifted through the terrain. Later in Kruger, a far more emotional scene was being witnessed when 4 lion cubs were observed running toward their mother after a short separation. Their reunion was being filled with gentle nuzzles, tiny calls, and a sense of relief that could almost be felt from a distance. The entire moment was being experienced in complete solitude, making it even more unforgettable. By the late afternoon, the Kambula lionesses and their cubs were being found resting peacefully in the warm glow of the setting Sunday. The little ones were being watched as they played softly around their mothers before settling. Sit back and let this moment wash over you. The stone drift female leopard glides through the fading light as the sun slips behind the horizon, turning the bush into a soft golden canvas. Her calm presence, the quiet rustle of the evening, and the peaceful rhythm of the wild create an atmosphere that feels almost otherworldly pure, untouched magic. The Kambula Pride rested calmly beneath West Street Bridge this morning at Malamala Game Reserve. Seeing lions tucked under a bridge is a rare and striking sight, a reminder of how wildlife can turn ordinary places into unforgettable moments in nature's story.
I'm sorry.
Just showing us what he thinks about us.
Bit smaller.
Oh, you can see Jigger fighting with it. Another adult in the back? Yeah. Bit smaller. Bit smaller. Another Jigger. Oh, you can see Jigger fighting with it. Another adult in the back? Yeah.
The lions suddenly freeze, eyes locked on something ahead. Moments later, they charge toward a leopard and her cub hiding nearby. Heart-stopping seconds follow, but both manage to escape safely into the bush. Nature's tension at its peak. The stone drift female leopard suddenly crouches beside the vehicle, eyes locked on her prey. Everyone holds their breath as she moves with perfect silence and deadly focus. Pure wilderness drama unfolding right before our eyes at Mala Mala Game Reserve. Is he really alive? Look, this massive elephant spring up faster than you'd imagine. These gentle giants never fail to surprise. 1 second snoozing, the next full of life. Nature's humor at its finest. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wildlife videos. What a wild scene. The Torchwood Pride was enjoying their hard-earned buffalo meal when suddenly, chaos erupted in the water. Something spooked the entire group, sending them leaping and splashing in every direction. Moments like this remind us. The day the Msuthlu Pride tour the bird hide. This week's virtual safari was not exactly what had been planned, but that's how life in the wild often unfolds. The morning had begun quietly, with golden light stretching across the bushveld. Plans had been made to track down the famous Gijima males, a coalition known for their power, presence, and deep, echoing roars that often fill the evening air. The vehicle had rolled out before sunrise, when the world was still painted in soft grays and pinks. Cameras had been checked, batteries charged, and expectations high. Every sound, the distant call of a francolin, the rustle of leaves, the far-off grunt of a hippo, hinted that something remarkable might be seen. Yet, as is often the case in the wild, the day's path was written by nature, not by plan. As the journey continued along the sandy track, the first paw prints had been noticed. Large, fresh, and unmistakable. Lion tracks. They were too many to belong to just a coalition. Curiosity grew. The tracks told a story of movement, of purpose, of a pride on the move. The direction was clear, toward Makotini Dam. Moments later, the unexpected sight was revealed. The entire Msuthlu Pride was there, 14 lions, moving together in slow, deliberate formation. Their tawny coats glowed in the morning light, their heads held low, eyes fixed ahead. The air was heavy with that quiet power only lions possess. No sound of fear or alarm came from the old buffalo bulls that had been resting nearby. They watched with wary eyes but stood their ground. The lions passed them without hesitation, their focus unbroken. The mission was clear. The waterhole awaited. An Insta360 camera had been placed quickly ahead of their path. A silent observer set on the ground, its tiny lens facing the approaching pride. It was hoped that at least one curious lion might pause to sniff, nudge, or even pick it up. But to everyone's surprise, not a single lion gave it a second glance. 14 majestic cats walked straight past as though it had never existed. At that moment, silence fell. The soft crunch of their paws on the sand, the occasional flick of a tail, nothing else disturbed the stillness. The camera had been spared, untouched, and the moment had been captured perfectly. To support our channel, please kindly like and share our videos. Wildlife Universe M2, where true wildlife moments are brought to life as nature intends them to be seen. As the pride neared the dam, their mood began to shift. The tension of the hunt gave way to relaxation. A lone wildebeest was spotted grazing in the open, and instinct took over. The pride spread out with quiet precision. Stomachs low to the ground, eyes locked on the target. The hunt was on. But as quickly as it had begun, it ended. The wildebeest had caught sight of them and bolted. The lions gave chase half-heartedly, then stopped, realizing the effort wasn't worth it in the rising heat. What followed was pure serenity. The hunt abandoned. The pride made its way to the water. Cool relief awaited. One by one, they settled along the edge of the dam. Tongues flicked at the surface, creating ripples that caught the sunlight. Cubs played nearby, pawing at reflections and each other. The older lions watched with lazy eyes, content in the moment. After the drink came play. The cubs tumbled through the sand, their paws sending small clouds of dust into the air. Tails flicked, ears flattened in mock attacks. The atmosphere shifted from tension to joy, a rare moment of carefree living in the harsh world of the savannah. Then, curiosity struck. A few adventurous youngsters wandered away, noses twitching. Something unusual had been noticed. A structure nearby, partially hidden by reeds and shadow. The bird hide. It was approached with cautious curiosity at first, sniffing, peeking, testing with tentative paws. Within minutes, what was once built for bird watchers had become a lion lounge. The Masuthlu pride had claimed it entirely as their new resting spot. The cubs climbed the steps, adults lay at the entrance, and the shade offered cool comfort from the blazing sun. Their movements stirred the air, sending dry leaves swirling. Cameras recorded every second, capturing the rare and comical sight of lions lounging in a human-made shelter. To tell the story from the heart of the action, filming was done from inside the very hide the lions explored. From that quiet, shadowed place, the scene was viewed differently. It became clear why they were drawn there. The shade was deep, the breeze constant, and the view of the dam beautiful. In that moment, it felt like the perfect resting place, even for a human. Through the wooden slats, the soft sounds of lions breathing could be heard. Their tails flicked lazily, their golden eyes half closed. The gentle hum of insects filled the air. Nature was at peace for a while. But as every seasoned safari-goer knows, the bush has its way of keeping you humble. When the time came to move on and capture the final shots of the day, the unexpected struck again, a flat tire. The sound of air escaping broke the stillness, and the real adventure began anew. The camera crew found themselves momentarily stranded under the open African sky, laughter and frustration blending with the distant calls of hornbills. It was a reminder that no matter how carefully a safari is planned, nature always writes the final act. Whether it's lions taking over a bird hide or an unplanned delay on the track, every twist becomes part of the story, a memory that will be told again and again. The footage gathered that day told a story of unpredictability, playfulness, and beauty. It showed how wildlife adapts, how curiosity drives even the fiercest predators to explore new spaces, and how every moment in the bush, planned or not, carries its own kind of magic. The Msutlu Pride had reminded everyone why safaris are never just about the destination or the sighting. They're about surrendering to nature's rhythm, about allowing the day to unfold as it wishes. From the quiet movement of lions at dawn, to the laughter that followed a flat tire in the dust, the experience had been unforgettable. Cameras had captured the raw truth of life in the African wilderness. Unfiltered, unpredictable, and beautiful beyond words. This was not the safari that had been planned. It was better. So, as the sun dipped below the horizon, and the first stars began to appear, gratitude filled the air. For the unexpected, for the wild, and for every untamed story waiting to be told. To support our channel, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to Wildlife Universe M2, where true wildlife encounters are shared exactly as they happen, straight from the African bush to your screen. Because in nature, the best stories are never scripted. They're simply lived.